afternoon. I'm Betty Ferris. I'm president of Butler County Farm Bureau, and along with our Farm Bureau chapter here and board of directors and members in Butler County, and along with the Butler County Morgantown Chamber of Commerce, we're happy to present to you tonight Meet the Candidates Forum. We have asked each one of our candidates to participate tonight, and I think most everyone is here. But I would like those to remember that each of you have gotten the rules. We have some candidates here tonight who do not have opposition, and we've asked them to come as well so that you might see them and they might participate in any way they like. I would also like to mention to you that Farm Bureau, both at the national, state, and local level, is a nonpartisan organization. We do not endorse any candidate, nor do we endorse any party. We simply bring to you tonight, as a member service of our organization and of the Chamber here in Morgantown, Butler County, the candidates who are running for the primary offices in our county. We're very fortunate tonight to have with us Mr. Matt Ingram from the Kentucky Farm Bureau organization in Louisville. Matt is the Assistant Executive Vice President to Kentucky Farm Bureau, along with being the Director of the Organizational Division. Matt will be our moderator tonight. He will be the one who will be speaking to the candidates, asking the questions. So therefore, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Matt Ingram.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ferris, for those very nice words and introduction. It's great to be in Butler County, and I'll share with you all. Obviously, people that are involved in Farm Bureau know this, particularly Butler County Farm Bureau Board of Directors, but probably some of the folks here in the community may not know this unless you saw it in the paper. Kentucky Farm Bureau, every year, we will give a host of awards to county farm bureaus for various things, but the pinnacle, the highest award that a county farm bureau can receive is to be the top county in the state of Kentucky. And in 2013, this county farm bureau was the top county in all of Kentucky Farm Bureau counties from one end of the state to the other. And that is something that this county can be so proud of. I know there's a great board of directors in this county that care passionately about agriculture. I know that there is an insurance office here, and James and his staff and the agents do a wonderful job serving Farm Bureau members, and just a lot to be proud of. A lot of counties, I've seen counties set a goal to try to achieve that award and yet to achieve it, and for this county to do that is something to be awfully proud of. Doing events like this just go to show that Farm Bureau in this community wants to serve as the voice of agriculture and serve its membership. So we welcome you tonight to this Measure of the Candidate. As I think Ms. Ferris had mentioned, all the candidates have seen the rules, but just so that everybody's up to date on it, I'm going to read those. I'm literally going to read them word for word so the candidates can hear them, but also so the audience can know the rules that are dictating what we're doing tonight. No questions will be allowed from the audience. Each candidate has been allotted enough time for a 1-minute opening statement. There'll be a timekeeper, which is Amanda here on the front. Each time the candidates come in, we'll make sure they see her. And the limits will be strictly enforced. And when time expires, the timekeeper will hold up a time card. The candidate will be able to finish his or her sentence, but will not be allowed more than a few seconds after that time. Up to 1 minute has been allotted for the answers to all of our questions, and again, time limits will be strictly enforced. Up to 1 minute has been allotted for closing statements, and again, we're going to keep those time limits strictly enforced. Prior to going on stage, the candidates will draw a number to determine the order in which they'll answer questions, and the speaking will be in a rotation based upon those numbers they draw. Unopposed candidates will be introduced, and we'll do that maybe here in a few minutes, make sure that everybody has time to get in. And to the audience, please refrain from clapping after the individual candidate finishes speaking or answering questions. After their questions and before the candidates are dismissed from the stage, there will be time for the audience to show their appreciation to these community leaders. So those are going to be the rules for this event, and if there's any questions, please feel free, particularly for the candidates, as you go out here in a few minutes and draw those numbers. You can ask Ms. Ferris or James or anybody involved with Farm Bureau here in Butler County can help you with that. We're going to start with the magistrate race. So I'm going to ask for all magistrate candidates to please exit the back here and go out in the hallway. They're going to work with you to make sure we get the numbers drawn, and then we're going to start here in just a few moments with District 1. So if you are a magistrate, all magistrates, all the districts, all 5 districts, if you're a candidate, please exit back here so that they can begin the process of drawing that. And here in just a few moments, when they're ready, we will start with District 1. where we do have our District 1. Gentlemen are here. When we drew a moment ago as 1 and 2, and then of course in a couple of races there might be 3 candidates. 1 is directly closest to me. Number 2 will be to his right. We're going to start with District 1, which is Stevie Givens. We've got a 1-minute introduction. We got an opening statement. I apologize. This is our first time here. We're going to have a 1-minute introduction. Candidate 1, you can use that microphone. And Amanda here's on the front. She's going to be our timekeeper. When 1 minute has expired, she's going to show you that. And then we'd ask that you finish that sentence, and then we'll move on to number 2. So with 1-minute opening statement. Yes, sir.
I'm Stevie Givens. I've been a magistrate in Morgantown for 12 years. I'm running for my 4th term. I've been selected on a KCO board. I'm the first magistrate ever to get selected on it. Peanut Gaines gave me an opportunity to be on it, and we go to Frankfort about 5 times a year to the meetings up there, and I've been meeting different people, and I'm trying to help Butler County all I can by meeting them. It helps a whole lot for us to know different people when we go places, and I've got a good working relationship with Frankfort. And I've been trying to help different magistrates with roads on different money we get. And I'm working with every one of them. And all I'm asking you, just May the 20th, just go out and vote. And I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And next, we have a 1-minute introduction. Pass the microphone if you don't mind, please, sir. Go right ahead with 1 minute. And Amanda's here in the front as our timekeeper.
My name's Doug Odell, and I live here in Morgantown. I've lived here all my life. And I'm married to Teresa Johnson, Buster and Susie Johnson's daughter. And I'm on the Tourism Commission here in Morgantown, and do the singings on the square up here every year. We have 5 or 6 of them. And I'm running for 1st District Magistrate. I want to be a part of this community like I've always been in all activities that's taking place in the county, and just do the best job that I can do as 1st District Magistrate. I've run for City Council a couple of times. I never did win, but I run anyway. And I would be pleased to be your 1st District Magistrate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to start off with our first question. Mr. Givens, I think that will go to you. You drew number 1. That would be, what do you see as the most important function of the fiscal court? You have 1 minute, sir.
Well, we all got a good working relationship between us. We fix roads, and we all try to get together every year when we get our money, and we just go see how much road we can fix. And by doing that, we just we draw every year. We have 2 different people. The magistrate gets different money every year to fix these roads, and we got 5 of us, and we split it 5 ways. But now we just do different things to try to get more money so we can get all these county roads fixed. My district is mostly blacktopped, and I've got all of it in pretty good shape right now. I've got new districts roads right now to go to, but most of them are in good shape. And I'm just here to try to help these other ones when we get money and everything.
Thank you very much, Mr. Givens. Mr. Odell, I'll repeat the question for you. You have 1 minute. What do you see as the most important function of the fiscal court?
Well, as Stevie said, I think it's to fix roads and repair them, keep them in good condition, and also to spend our money wisely, our county money, which is being spent on so many things, and to see that by the upkeep of things like that, the roads, that we can get more industry into this county, because we need a lot of industry here. We've lost it, several over the years, and we need the industry to come into our county. And by having favorable roads and repaired, and just working with everybody, like the fire department, the ambulance service, and with all of them to try to come up with a better idea than what we've had in the past to make our county look good.
Thank you very much, Mr. Odle. Mr. Odle, you'll be asked this next question first, and then Mr. Gibbons, you can reply after he is finished. Number 2, and I might add to the audience that none of the candidates have seen any of these questions, just so you'll know it's been something that the Farm Bureau developed, and no one has seen this, so this will be the first time any of the candidates have heard these. If elected to the fiscal court, you have responsibility over the county's business. What management skills would you bring to the table?
Well, in the past, I have been a member of the volunteer fire department years past, and I've also been a member of the JCs when we had a JC club here. I've always been involved in activities, and I just feel like that my love for this county and for the people of this county, that I could do a good job as First District Magistrate, and that's what I'm going to do if I'm elected, to do my best to see that my job will be done well, and I just love the county and the people that's in it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gibbons. I'll repeat the question for you. If elected to the fiscal court, you have the responsibility over the county's business. What management skills would you bring to the table?
Well, we're going to try to bring industry around here, and I've been on the volunteer fire department for 40 plus years, and we try to help the fire departments out and the ambulance service, and we just try to help each other up there while we're up there in physical court, and we all work good together. Me and the judge, we've done a lot together. Every time we go to Frankfort, we try to help Butler County to talk to people when we get up there to bring money back to Butler County to help all these county roads. And I've been doing that. I've been helping the rest of the magistrates around here, trying to get blacktop on here. But we're just going to try to work with everyone as much as we can.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gibbons. We now have 1 minute for a closing statement. And Mr. Gibbons went first for the opening statement, so Mr. Odle, you'll go first for the closing statements. You have one minute, sir.
Well, excuse my voice, it's kind of raspy tonight. I've enjoyed being a Butler County for several years and working with the Catfish Festival and different things, especially where music is involved. I've been in the, years ago we had things to do to air condition all the county schools, and we had what we call the Grand Ole Opries, like we had out here about 3 weeks ago, and raised $4,200, I think, for the Project Prom. And so I've been involved in a lot of activities here, and I just think that whenever I get to be the First District Magistrate, I'll work well with the magistrates and the judge. I know all of them and friends with them, and I think I could do a good job as First District Magistrate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gibbons. Your closing statement.
All I want to say, I'm glad everybody could come out tonight and listen to everybody. We don't have this chance very much, and I know it's a lot of people that likes to hear everybody and see what opinions they've got, and I hope everybody will go vote May the 20th, and just everybody be careful going home, and if I get magistrate, I'll do the best job I can. Thanks.
Thank you very much. We did mention that we ask everybody to hold their applause, but we said that there would be a chance to show the appreciation to these folks when they were done with all their questions. If you don't mind, for District 1 candidates, let's give them a round of applause. For the candidate that drew number 1, we've got a 1 minute opening statement that you can make. Amanda here on the front is our timekeeper. We ask that when that 1 minute's done, she's going to show you time. If you go over that you need to finish that sentence and finish up. So, number 1, you're more than welcome to give your 1 minute opening statement.
I'm Johnny Tuck. I live in Woodbury with my wife Bonnie. We have 3 sons, 2 granddaughters. My parents were Luther and Gusta Tuck. My dad served this county as many years as sheriff and jailer. My Uncle Fred Tuck was a long-time farmer in the Sugar Grove area. He also served the county as sheriff and jailer. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I worked for the county several years. The past 3 years, I've been the master of the 2nd District, and I feel like I have made a difference, and I would like to continue to serve. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 1 minute here for the gentleman who drew number 2.
Good afternoon. My name's Dale Willis, and I'm running for the 2nd District Magistrate. I've lived in Butler County just about all my life and have managed many businesses here. I've had 3 businesses in Butler County. Also, I've managed several other company businesses that were million-dollar companies. I think with my experience, that will help as far as magistrate, as far as like taking care of what expenses that we do have here in the county. You run the county just like you would a business. My goal is to listen to the people of the 2nd District and try to get an answer back to them as soon as possible, whether it be good or whether it be bad. 2nd District is in need of a representative that will speak for the people and also try to make decisions that would be fair for everybody in this district and the county. So with your vote, we can make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Willis. We have 2 questions we're going to ask you, gentlemen. Mr. Tuck will ask you the first question. First, you'll go first, and Mr. Willis, for question 2, you'll go first. So, Mr. Tuck, I'll ask you, what do you see as the most important function of the fiscal court?
Well, first of all, the fiscal court is combined of the county judge executive and the 5 masters in decision-making of maintaining our properties, our county buildings, and our roads. I feel the most important thing is to be a good steward of the county taxpayers' money.
Thank you, Mr. Tuck. Mr. Willis, I'll repeat the question for you. What do you see as the most important function of the fiscal court?
The most important function, I think, is you're a mouthpiece for the people of the 2nd District. Among those decisions, you're spending taxpayer money. That's my money and your money. I think it needs to be spent wisely and put a lot of thought into. Also, I think that decisions need to be made to try to create a lower tax base to save you money, increase revenue with new incentives to create a background for people to get their license, planning, zoning, things like this that will create revenue and lower our taxes. And I think that the fiscal court needs to make themselves aware that whenever you go into that office, just remember who you're working for and whose money that you're spending.
Thank you very much, Mr. Willis. Mr. Willis, you will get asked this next question first so you can reply. If elected to the fiscal court, you have the responsibility over the county's business. What management skills would you bring to the table?
My management skills have gone back for years. I started out in my early 20s purchasing the Gulf Station from Mr. Vance here in Morgantown and run it for several years. After that, I worked in the banking business. After that, I opened up another business with Mobile DJ. After that, I've opened up Pizza Zone, which I've had for almost 15 years. I think with my experience in business, with tackling the expenses, keeping the doors open, I think that my experience right there speaks for how I would put towards the fiscal court, because you're going to have to use your checks and balances, and you want to make sure that you spend your money wisely, and you want to make sure that you can make all the cutbacks that you can without bringing on more taxes or raising taxes that we already are taxed with.
Thank you, Mr. Tuck. I'll repeat the question for you. If elected to the fiscal court, you have the responsibility over the county's business. What management skills would you bring to the table?
But first of all, my experience of working with the road department and knowing procedures that take place in running the county, and my 3 years as master, I've learned pretty well the ins and outs and what can be done, what to do, who to listen to, which is the residents of my district.
Thank you, Mr. Tuck. We now have time for our 1 minute closing statement. Mr. Willis, you will go first for that. And Amanda's there. After 1 minute, she will show you the time card.
As running for magistrate this year, the reason that I am running is because I feel like the county needs someone in there as a voice for the county as well as the district. I feel like people are not being listened to. Questions are not getting answered. I feel like I can do a really good job at that. I think I can do a better job at that. With my experience with business, I feel like that right there will help me help manage the county and create a better tax base for the customers or for the people of Butler County. I would also ask that new ideas be presented. I think with new ideas as far as creating new rules, regulations for the fiscal court as far as how we can plan to gain new revenue plus also cut expenses. I also would like to be more involved with our boards, and I think that we've lost touch with that.
Thank you, Mr. Willis. Mr. Tuck, you have 1 minute for your closing statement.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for showing up and taking an interest in the county. I feel a lot has been accomplished in the last few years. In a positive way, I think we have took the county forward with repairs to our county buildings, our properties, and an upgrade of our road department's equipment has made it much easier and efficient in making our roads in a better shape.
Let's show these gentlemen the District 2 candidates. I suspect you drew number 1. No, there you are.
1 and number 2.
Okay, Mr. Tyree, Mr. Chad Tyree. I think you heard the rules, but we're going to have a 1 minute opening statement. Then we're going to ask, we've got 2 questions I'll ask. You got a minute to answer each of those, and then we'll have a 1 minute closing statement. So with that, you're more than welcome to have your 1 minute opening statement. Amanda there on the front has the time card. She'll show that when 1 minute is finished.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Chad Tyree. I brought some sheet notes, and I can't work without them. But anyways, I'm your Butler County's 3rd District Magistrate right now. Kind of who I am, my bio. I graduated from Butler County High School here, went K through 12 through Butler County school system. From there, I went on to Western Kentucky University, where I was enrolled in the pre-engineering program. Later transferred to the University of Kentucky and earned a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering there at UK. Shortly thereafter, I married my wonderful wife, Rebecca there, who's the daughter of Roberta and Dwight Gardner. And we have 2 wonderful children, Emily, age 11, and Duncan, age 7. We as a family live in Quality, Kentucky, and there we own and operate a small cattle farm. Rebecca and I also own a small business with locations in Drakesboro and in Morgantown. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tyree. Our first question, what do you see as the most important function of the fiscal court?
The most important function of the fiscal court, that's to be responsible and make informed decisions on how the money's spent for Butler County. That's not to be taken lightly either. There's a lot of research that goes into a lot of the decisions that are made. Another very important thing with the fiscal court would be communication. Of course, that goes hand in hand with the information. This is kind of playing off my closing statement, but just kind of make an informed decision on what you do.
Thank you very much. Our second question, if elected to the fiscal court, you have the responsibility over the county's business. What management skills would you bring to the table?
The management skills I would bring to the table, well, that's going to help me finish up my bio, I guess, there in itself. After earning my engineering degree from the University of Kentucky, I went to work for a Butler County-based construction firm. Currently there today, I hold the position of engineering and sales manager, and I also play the role of a project manager on many, many different type heavy construction projects. So I'm very familiar with contracting, kind of some business law. I also am very keenly aware of how things are built, how things are put together, infrastructure, You know, I have a degree in engineering, civil engineering, which involves, you know, building roads, bridges, and whatnot. So I like to think I'm uniquely qualified to be in that role.
Thank you very much for that response. You now have 1 minute for your closing statements.
Thank y'all very much. You know, what I was going to say in closing was that I was tickled to death to see this many people that's like-minded. Like myself, y'all are here to make an informed decision about, about this upcoming election. And this venue creates, or this forum creates a fantastic vehicle for you to be able to get to know your candidates and make an informed decision come May the 20th. And I want to say to each one of you, I appreciate your time for taking the time to do that. And you giving me this opportunity here tonight to speak to you. Appreciate any and all support this May 20th. Thank you.
The audience like to show a round of applause to our candidates. Go back to the hallway. As District 5 comes in, if the candidates for the county judge executive would please make their way out to the hallway, they'd like to go ahead and do the drawing while we're working on this last candidate that's coming in. So they'll make their way to the hallway. County judge candidates. District 5?
Yes.
Mr. Gardner? Yes, sir. We've got the rules that we're following. We've got a 1 minute opening statement that you can make. Amanda is right there as our timekeeper. At the end of that, we've got 2 questions that I'll ask each of those to you, and then you'll have a 1 minute closing statement that you can make. So with that, you've got a minute for your opening statement, sir.
I'm Melanie Garner. I'm married to Janet Garner from 5th District. I've got 1 son, 2 granddaughters. I don't know, most everybody here knows me. I've worked for the last 15 years, Butler County Jail. I retired December 31st. I thought I've been working for the rescue squad since 70, so I thought I'd, could continue trying to help the county some way. So that's about all I've got, because most everybody knows me anyway.
Our first question is, what do you see as the most important function of the fiscal court?
Control the money, try to get jobs, factories, whatever, to help the people of Butler County.
If elected to the fiscal court, you have the responsibility over the county's business. What management skills would you bring to the table?
Well, for the last 15 years, I've worked for Butler County Jail. I've done inmate pay for the inmates we had sent in for the state pay. I was commander of Butler County Rescue Squad for 14 years. I was project manager at TPM for 8 years before I worked for the jail.
Well, thank you very much, sir. You now have 1 minute for your closing statements.
If I'm elected, I would like to work with all county officials, try to get some more factories, jobs, whatever we need in the county to get our workers back in the county working.
Thank you very much, folks. Let's give this gentleman a round of applause. You're more than welcome to Mr. Bratcher, I guess you drew number 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Fields, you drew number 2. Well, I think you probably heard us say to the magistrates, the questions are going to be different for you, gentlemen, so you've not heard these, but the rules will be the same. We have a 1 minute opening statement, have 1 minute for each of our questions, and then a 1 minute closing statement. So, Mr. Bratcher, if you'd like to give your opening statement.
Thank you, and thank you for everybody for coming out tonight. I'm Richie Bratcher. I've lived in Butler County all my life, and I'm proud to say I'm from Butler County. I just want to thank all the emergency personnel for all the work they do in our everyday life. You never know when you're going to need them. I'm running because I think we need new leadership in this office and ideas to help make our county grow. I've served on several different boards. I've served on the 5th District Fire Department board as treasurer for the last 11 years. I was on the Chamber of Commerce board for two terms, the Butler County Extension Office. I'm the founder of the Butler County Cancer Assistance. That's a program that we raise funds for cancer patients that live in Butler County. and it is all volunteer positions on that. I just want to help the people of Butler County with my ideas. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And I forgot to mention Amanda here's on the front, and at 1 minute, she'll show you that time card. Mr. Fields, you have 1 minute for an opening statement.
My name is David Fields. I am a candidate for re-election to County Judge Executive. I am married to Virginia Emery Fields. We have one son, Greg Fields, and his wife, Michelle Fields. We have two granddaughters, Ashton, I'll say two beautiful granddaughters, as all grandparents want to do. But Ashton is in her second year at medical school at Pikeville. Sierra is a freshman at Western Kentucky University studying speech therapy. So one of the things that I would like to do, I'd like to thank Kentucky Farm Bureau and Butler County Chamber of Commerce for putting this on. And I'm looking forward to the questions, and hopefully that we can talk about some things that we've accomplished in the last term, and some projects that we have on for now, and some things that we'd like to do in the future. So looking forward to the questions, and thank you for this opportunity for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Fields. Mr. Bratcher, we'll start with our first question to you, sir. What is your stand on the Corps of Engineers' proposal of abandoning the Rochester Dam?
I would, if elected to that, I will check into that more to see what I think. I think we need the Rochester Dam there. I think it's an important part of our county. If elected, I will review all the policies on it and decide from there what I think needs to be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fields. The same question, I can repeat it if you'd like.
Yes, go ahead.
What is your stand on the Corps of Engineers' proposal of abandoning the Rochester Dam?
One of the things that I've done, and this is my second term as county judge, and when I came in, I looked at this as a vital thing for Butler County because it is our water supply. One of the things that in working with the Corps, and I'm not sure that it's anyone in the Corps that's really against it, it's just that there is so many regulations to get through. And one of the things that we have developed with Butler County and Ohio County, because we're both partners in it, and I think there's 46,000 people that is served by the water. It's a water project to us. And so the stabilization of Rochester Dam is a very important part to us. So we're working through, one of the things that we've done, we've created the Rochester Dam Regional Water Commission. And basically they're made up of people of Butler County and Ohio County. And one of the things that, the reason that we've done that is because the dam is owned by, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Fields, if you'd like to keep the microphone, I'll ask the second question to you. What do you see as the most important function of a county judge executive?
Well, let's just go with the duties of the county judge executive. One of the things about it, and I think in 1960 they broke it apart. We have no legal matters now. It is the business of the county. And one of the things, as county judge, you're in charge of the county business. And one of the things that we, as county government, we have to have a balanced budget. That's one of the requirements of it, which makes it very hard. I wish federal government, they just print more money and balance their budget. But that's one of the biggest things that we have, is we have to present a county budget, a balanced county budget. And that's one of the things that's getting coming up. And where you're involved in that, it affects every office almost of county government because they have to do their budgets and then we have to bring ours together to come up with a balanced budget. So that's one of the major things of a county judge, is it's just one of many duties.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bratcher. I'll repeat the question for you. What do you see as the most important function of a county judge executive?
I think it's the judge's responsibility to make sure all the affairs of the county is run right, and to make sure you have a balanced budget, and that you can stay within those guidelines. And you just need to always be there for the people of your county when they come to see you.
Thank you, Mr. Bratcher. If you hold the microphone, when you drew that number one, you're going to get this next question as well. Currently, Butler County is involved with the Bowling Green Chamber in sharing an industrial recruiter. Would you be in favor of hiring an industrial recruiter to service Butler County exclusively?
I think as a judge executive, you would need to be the one to get out there and try to recruit your business. To get new businesses here, I think it's your responsibility to get new industry to come, step in there and do it. So I probably would not be in favor of getting an industrial recruiter because I feel like that's just part of your job.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Fields, I'll repeat the question for you, sir. Currently, Butler County is involved with Bowling Green Chamber in sharing an industrial recruiter. Would you be in favor of hiring an industrial recruiter to service Butler County exclusively?
That's almost a two-part question. One of the things when I came in and we bought into the regional concept of the Bowling Green Chamber, one of the things that when I came in 2007, we had 4 empty buildings. And one of the things when we made the partnership with them and working in with the regional chamber, we have all 4 of the buildings now have occupants in them. And we also, with putting together a local board, we had another business that we sponsored. The business has been very successful. We're out of the business now, so we're looking for another project. But as far as for a private industrial recruiter, I think where we're at is affordability, because to get someone to compare with what we've got, we're basically the city and county is together on this.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Fields. Mr. Fields, you will get to say your closing statement first, and Mr. Bratcher, you'll say it right after him. So, sir, you have 1 minute for your closing statements.
Thank you for this opportunity for being here. One of the things that I think is going to be an important part of this next election, when I've had the opportunity of working with 2 different makeups of fiscal court. I've dealt with 2 different mayors from the city of Morgantown, 2 different makeups of city council. One of the things, and I'm not sure on this, but it's my understanding that probably Mayor Kelm will not be running this time. So we'll have a new mayor. So I'm looking forward to working with whoever it is. And I think leadership and experience is going to be the key for the county judge executive in this next term. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fields. Mr. Bratcher, you have 1 minute for your closing statements.
Again, thank you for everybody coming out. Thank you the Chamber of Commerce and Farm Bureau for putting this on. It gives everybody a good opportunity. As I said, I've been involved in different organizations. I've also I work at the school system right now. I've been involved with the school for 4 or 5 years now. I'm running to help the people of Butler County. My doors will always be open. I will get answers to your questions. I will return your calls. If you cannot come to the office and you need to talk to me, I will come to your house and talk to you. I've been trying to knock on everybody's doors and get across the county, but with working a full-time job, it's hard to. I'm sorry if I do miss you, but I still want to ask you for your vote. If I am elected to office, I have asked Bonnie Howard Annis to be my secretary. And I just want to thank everybody for considering me as a candidate for the Butler County Judge Executive and the new leadership for Butler County. And remember, a vote for me is a voice for you. Thank you.
Let's give these gentlemen a round of applause. Gentlemen, you know the routine. You've seen us go through the magistrates and the county judge. We've got 2 questions. And for the gentleman that drew number 1, we'll let you start off with your opening statements for 1 minute. And Amanda's here on the front. If you can keep your eye on her at 1 minute, she'll show you a time card. We'd ask that you finish your sentence and finish that, moving on to the next gentleman. So.
My name is Scotty Ward. I'm married to Jamie Martin. We have 3 kids, Casey, Gage, and JC. A little background on me. When I got out of high school, I was in the United States Army for 3 years, Kentucky National Guard for 5, Kentucky State Police for 20, and then I've been your sheriff for the last 3.5 years. For the last 3.5 years, I've tried to put together a professional, full-service sheriff's department that you can count on when needed. Besides the law enforcement duties that we've done, we've took over the school resource officer, We've took over animal control, and we've also took over security for the housing authority. We have provided 24-hour, 7-day coverage since the first day that we took office. And my goal has always been from day one to provide the best services possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. Mr. Hooten, you have 1 minute.
I'm Bobby Hooten Jr. I've got a son that's 7 years old, Case Hooten. My parents are Bobby Sr. and Karen Hooten of Butler County here. A little bit of background, I graduated in 1993 here at Butler County High School. I went from here to ITT Tech, graduated with computer-aided drafting. From there, I went to work for the McGee Engineering firm out of Guthrie, Kentucky, and worked there for about 10 years. And then we had my son, and then at that point in time, I was considered that I wanted to be at home and try to help the community of Butler County change the drug population and help clean it up for my son and his future. So come May the 20th, I appreciate y'all's support and help, and we'll go on to the next question.
Thank you, Mr. Hooten. Okay, Mr. Ward, this first question is for you. And then, Mr. Hooten, you'll have it in just a moment. How do you plan to curb the increase in rural crime in the county? You have 1 minute.
To curb crime in the county, the first thing you got to have is prosecution. You've got to be able, in the past, for the crimes that's happened, you've got to be able to prosecute the crimes, see that the penalties are getting put out there. That'll stop or slow down people from doing it. The second way is you've got to be seen. Your cars have to be out there. You guys have to be on patrol. They have to be in the areas. And the third and final way to curb it is you have to, a deputy can just do one thing, and he's only got 2 eyes. So you have to tell other people. You have to talk to people in the community what's going on. Lots of problems we have is a scrap, steel and stuff getting stolen. You have to talk to people. Tell the neighbors what's going on. If you see anything, call us. Tell Logan County Sheriff's Department, Warren County Sheriff's Department, tell the state police, tell the city. When you're looking for something, the more people you got looking for it, the better off you're going to slow it down, you're going to stop it. And that's the way that I do to curb anything like that.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Hooten, I'll repeat the question. How do you plan to curb the increase in rural crime in the county?
Well, the main thing is just like Sheriff Ward just said, it's kind of hard to put in other answers to that question because he answered them pretty good. Mostly, just like he's saying, seeing the deputies in the community and communicating with other sheriff's departments, neighboring counties and things.
Thank you, Mr. Hooten. The second question that I'll ask for you, sir. With the current sheriff's budget, how will you utilize funds to ensure the best protection to the citizens of Butler County?
I would just use the money that I got. If we got a budget and we got to stick with it, is that if you can't afford something that you can go, you just go to the next level and get stuff that you can afford and try to work with the magistrates and stuff to get the equipment and things that we need to run the sheriff's department with.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ward, I'll repeat that question for you. With the current sheriff's budget, how will you utilize funds to ensure the best protection to the citizens of Butler County?
Of course, like anything else, the sheriff's department's budget's tight. But you have to put the money, or I put the money in what I think is the most important thing, and that's my deputies. I spend 2/3 of my budget to get the most qualified and the best deputies I can to get out there working, and then I take the other third to buy the equipment and the tools they need to perform their job. I think your manpower, because they're the ones out there, they're the ones when you call that's going to be there. They got to have the car, the gun, the radio to answer your call and get out there. So I believe in my budget, what I do is I put my money towards my deputies, and then the rest of it I put towards the tools that they need to perform their job.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Hooten, you will go first in our closing statements. You have 1 minute.
Again, I'd just like to thank everybody for showing up and giving me this opportunity to voice my opinion and stuff and give y'all a little bit of background on myself. I'm currently a deputy in Logan County as well. I didn't mention that in the first introduction of myself.
come May the 20th, I do appreciate y'all's support, and anything between now and then, y'all got any questions, answer me. I think I printed my number in the paper, and there's other people out there that knows me that just get in touch with me, and I'll try to answer the best of my knowledge, and hopefully come May the 20th, we'll figure something out, and we got a choice now, and again, appreciate y'all's support and effort.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ward, you have 1 minute for your closing statements.
I'd like to say that I appreciate the opportunity that the citizens of this county gave me 4 years ago to elect me and let me be sheriff. I've done the best that I could possibly do over the last 4 years. I've tried to put a department together that everybody could be proud of. Over the last 2 years, I've returned in excess fees almost $50,000 back to the county, and I can guarantee you that's never been done by a sheriff in this county. We always implement, we talk about that safer schools, safer neighborhoods makes for a safer county. And I hope over the last 4 years that I've earned the respect and the trust from the citizens of this county and also your vote. And I know elections just has a lot of promises, but I'll only make one, is that we'll continue to do what we're doing and the best that we can do to make Butler County a safe place to live and a safe place to raise our kids. And I ask for your vote on May the 20th. Thank you.
Let's give both these gentlemen a round of applause. Gentlemen, you know the routine. You've seen it. You have a minute for opening statements. We have 2 questions, and we'll do that in alternate order. And if you're ready to go, sir, Amanda's right there in the front. She'll have that sign that'll show it 1 minute.
Okay, my name is Terry Fugate. I know most of you from Butler County. Been here pretty much all of my life. I'm married to Kelly McKinney Fugate. We have 4 children, 1 son, 3 daughters. I have 3 grandsons and 1 granddaughter, and I'm proud of all of them. Just like to say that I am running for my 5th term as jailer. I'm in my 16th year right now. Had 9 years prior to that as a deputy sheriff. I guess back when I was younger and sitting out there, I was thinking, what's that old man doing up there? Well, now I'm the old man sitting up here, but I need 1 more term. So guys, that's what I'm here for. We push hard in the jail. It's tough. Routinely, we're having life-changing experiences. Laws are changing. Federal laws are changing. We're constantly working on policy and procedure. It's a pretty tough road.
Thank you, Mr. Fugate. Mr. Romans, you have 1 minute for your opening statements.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming out tonight. Most of you know me. The ones that don't, I'm Ricky Romans. I'm running for jailer this time. I've worked at the jail before, back in the 90s, for my late grandfather, Jim Bat Johnson. I've been in Butler County my whole life. The only time I wasn't here is when I went and served in the Air Force and had to move away. There's no bases here. But I appreciate the opportunity, a chance to run this time. Me and Terry's been friends and will continue even when this is over with, but I think it's time for a change. I bring to the table just some new ideals that I need to check with, make sure that they'll flow. I know there's a change in laws. Every day there's something new with the inmates. That the federal changes and the state changes all the time. But if you give me a chance to be your jailer, I will make you proud. I will do the right thing, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fugate. We'll ask you our first question. Do you support the use of the inmates in the county work program?
I absolutely do. It has went good for us, and I will brag on Ricky and Jim Bat. They started a small work program and they got it underway. And luckily, when I took over, we did get to climb. We've grown pretty high. At today's rate, we are receiving over $100,000 a year back into our budget. That's a big help to us. For 10 inmates working 5 days a week, we do receive just a little over $100,000. So I'm going to support it. Win or lose, at the end of my term, we're going to work. We're going to be out there the last day we can work, and we're going to be cutting bushes, or we're going to be mowing grass, or we're going to be picking up trash. So yes, I do support it.
Thank you, Mr. Fugate. Mr. Romans, I'll repeat that question. Do you support the use of the inmates in a county work program?
Absolutely. I think it's one of the best things that's ever happened to this county. It saves the taxpayers a lot of money. It makes the county look good. The cemeteries get mowed. Community centers get mowed. Construction for the nonprofit organizations. The inmates can do that. There's always some carpenters in jail. It never fails. I mean, and which is a good thing for the county. I mean, it would cost the county a lot of money to hire 10 people to do these jobs. And there's no way, shape, fashion, or form that I would change that. I mean, it's a great thing. And I'd just like to, even if you could, expand it even more if possible. I don't know if it's possible, but, you know, that would be something I would look into if elected. Thank you.
Mr. Romans, the second question will go to you, sir, first. What are your plans to operate a jail with minimum cost to the county?
Well, the first thing to do, I'm not in the jail as we speak, so don't see the day-to-day operations. That would be one of the first things I would do. I would go in, do a total evaluation, an audit to see where this is going, where this money is appropriated. You know, you'd have to see all of that before I could make a complete, honest statement on that. But I would sure, you know, go through the budget, look it over, any way that I could see where we could expand, save the taxpayers money, you know, savings with security. You know, you need a secure facility too. And in any way, if I could save the taxpayers some money, I will try. I mean, like I said, I don't know where it would be at, but I will evaluate that if elected.
Thank you, Mr. Fugate. I'll repeat that question for you, sir. What are your plans to operate a jail with minimum cost to the county?
That's kind of a hard question because the minimum cost, we do have a budget that we have to stay within, and we never know about medical bills. Medical bills eat us up. Medicine eats us up, and depending on the inmates that are coming in, how healthy they are, it's a large cost, and that is the largest cost that it is out there. And from the time that I took over, where we used to have a second and third shift, one person on duty, now the statute says we have to have 3 on duty. That's tripled the cost of running that jail. It's been hard. We turn everything over to our county treasurer and let her go over it, and we sit down and go through it with her to see where we can cut. And in the last few years, we have cut budget just a few $1,000s, but every last 2 or 3 years, we've cut a few $1,000s.
Thank you, Mr. Fugate. Mr. Romans, you can have your closing statement first. 1 minute, and Amanda's here on the front.
Again, I want to thank Farm Bureau and the Chamber of Commerce for putting this on, and I'm glad to see the crowd out tonight. Unfortunately, I know there's district ball games going on. I think we would have had a bigger crowd, but can't get everybody here. But the ones that are here, we appreciate you coming. I hope you give me an opportunity to be your Butler County jailer. I will do you a good job. I will do a fair job. I'll run it right. I have not made any promises to anybody. I haven't told anyone they're losing their job. I haven't promised anybody a job. I said if elected, I would sit down and evaluate everybody, talk to everybody that's there, deal with that later. But just if you give me the chance on May the 20th, go out and vote for Ricky Romans. I'm number 1 on the ballot. I sure would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Fugate, you have 1 minute.
Ask the question one more time.
Yeah, it's your closing statement.
Closing argument.
Closing statement. Closing statement.
Well, I didn't have that microphone on. About the best thing I can say is I feel like everybody knows me in here. I've had 16 years in that jail, and I have for almost 16 years. I've tried hard. I mean, I've done all I can do, and I don't know how to do anymore. We're going to continue to work, and we're going to be there plumb to the end. If Ricky needs me and he gets in, then I'll help him where I can help him what little bit he needs. But I'm aiming to win this thing one more time. I do need your support. 20th of May. I've knocked on doors, but our hours have been long here lately. Appreciate support from everybody. Thank you.
If our candidates for PBA would make their way to the hallway, and while they're doing that, let's give these gentlemen a round of applause. Just for clarity, I'll make sure I repeat this again. You've got 1 minute for opening statements in each one of these questions, and of course 1 minute for a closing statement. Amanda's right here on the front. At 1 minute, she'll show you that that time card, and we would ask that you finish that sentence and move on for the next question for the next candidate. Mr. Embry, I assume you drew number 1, so we'll have 1 minute for your opening statement.
My name is Richard Embry. I am running for the office of Property Valuation Administrator. 1981, I got my Kentucky real estate license. That was also a time when there was about 15 to 16% interest rate, so we didn't sell a lot of real estate. I made my living for a couple of years doing appraisals. So that's where I've got my experience at to do the appraisals. 83, I moved to Tennessee and lived for 10 years, so I did move away from. I'm a native of Butler County-ian, moved back here. My 3 children all graduated from Butler County as well. This is a great county. We're facing some hard times right now, and we need some leadership to help with a lot of situations that I see around the county. And with your vote and support, I'd like to be the PVA and do my part that I can on that.
Thank you very much, ma'am. You have 1 minute for your opening statements.
Hello, my name is Suzanne Brosnan, and I'm running for the office of Property Valuation Administrator. I've lived here in Butler County all my life, and I've been blessed to be able to work for the county of Butler. I started out with my work history has all been in service to Butler County. I started out with Judge David Martin and Hugh Evans. I served as their secretary, finance officer, and deputy judge executive. 8 years ago, or 7.5, Angie's hired me as her chief deputy. I have been in the PVA office, and we see lots of different situations in there. I have been able to go training, and I have become a certified Kentucky assessor and a senior Kentucky assessor. And I would appreciate your vote and your support in electing me as your next PVA so I can continue to serve you.
Thank you, Ms. Brosnan. Now, Mr. Embry, you will get our first question first. And it's a rather large question, a long question. In the governor's budget this year, there was a provision to charge special taxing districts, such as Extension Service, Library, Ambulance Service, a fee to fund the PVA office, which was supported by the State PVA Association. It was eventually taken out of the budget, but if in future budget cycles, would you be in support of such measures? You have 1 minute.
I can't answer that in 1 minute. The way the funding works in the PVA office, the state gives an amount that the county and the cities pay to the PVA. What a lot of people don't know, when I was in office, 40% of that went out the first day I got the budget money that went to the state. So you really had 60% of what they said. So the county or the state was taking money from the county. My understanding now, that's up around 60%. So you have a very, very tight budget as a PVA. All taxing districts could have been charged from the start on it. When I was there, we assessed the county and the city. That was enough money to work my budget. I didn't need to do the watersheds, didn't need to do the school board, didn't need to do the library, so there was no need for it. If you watch your budget correctly and the state will do their part of the funding, no, you do not need that at all, and I would not be for it in any stretch.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Brosnan, I'll repeat this question for you. In the governor's budget this year, there was a provision to charge special taxing districts, such as Extension Service, Library, Ambulance Service, a fee to fund the PVA office, which was supported by the State PVA Association. It was eventually taken out of the budget, but in future budget cycles, would you be in support of such measures?
Well, like Richard said, our budget is based on fees that we get from the county and the city. And of course, if this passed through the state, then we would get fees from the taxing districts. And it would help us because if it continues to go that way, more and more of our budget is going to go back to the state. And if that happens, then we are going to need the extra funds to run our office because we are on limited funds.
Ms. Brosnan, thank you for that. Now, the second question will go to you first. Currently, farmland is taxed at its agricultural value. Would you continue to support this farmland assessment provision in the current tax law?
I'm very much in support of leaving the farm the way the farmers are taxed because they get a break being a farm discount. Woodland, cropland, pasture land. Farmers have a tough time making their meats, and that would help them tremendously, so I would leave it like it is.
Thank you, Ms. Brosnan. Mr. Embry, I'll repeat the question for you, sir. Currently, farmland is taxed at its agricultural value. Would you continue to support this farmland assessment provision in the current tax law?
Yes, my understanding, those rates are taxed, the way they are assessed is in the state constitution, so I think it would take a constitutional amendment to change those. If you get in the office and see the different values, we have a lot of small farmers, a lot of small people that might own 20 acres, 30 acres they've inherited from the family. It's not worth a lot of money, but it's something they can take to the bank if they need to use it for collateral. They've got a little timber, it's something if every few years that they can cut. The land's not worth possibly a whole lot, but if it went to the full tax rates, you're going to start seeing some farmers. You're going to see the small 1,000-acre, 500-acre farmers are going to go out. The commercial farmers, the big commercial factories will come in and buy up all the farmland because they have in their final product, as everybody knows, all taxes go to the final consumer. It will just be an expense to them. It will be a devastating thing to small rural families, small rural farmers, so I would be never want that to happen.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Brosnan, you can have the 1-minute closing statement first, since you went second during opening statements. You have 1 minute for your closing statements.
As everybody said, I'd like to thank Farm Bureau and the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this. It gives the community a chance to see all their candidates because we are going door to door trying to see everybody, and it is very hard to do when you work a full-time job. But I would appreciate your vote and your support to elect me as your next PVA.
Mr. Embry, you have 1 minute.
This county is facing some very serious problems. A lot of it not our fault. We've lost a lot of industry. A lot of our values have went down in the county. One of the things I would like to see, one of the things is you should, as an office holder, look out of your office. You can't go in here at 8 o'clock and 4 o'clock, go home and say, my day's done, I'll see you tomorrow morning. You've got to look around this county. What can I do outside the office that's going to help the county? One of the things I've talked to CB about, I went and talked to him before I brought it out. I would like to see, the PVA cannot do this. I don't want anybody to come in to see me or Suzanne and want this done the first day. Why in 2014 we do not have budget billing on property taxes where you can prepay your taxes so much a month if your tax bill was $1,200. If you wanted to set it up and pay $100 a month, when the tax bill would come out with the full amount, you could check your balance and you would just owe the balance instead of a big amount right at Christmas time.
Thank you very much. Let's give these candidates a round of applause. Before I turn it over to Ms. Ferris, I would just mention that I think as she said earlier, Kentucky Farm Bureau, Butler County Farm Bureau, any county farm bureau, we do not as an organization endorse candidates, but instead we ask them to endorse our policies. And we hold events like this all across the state, whether it be counties or districts or in some cases even the state organization holding Measure the Candidates. But there's one thing I can share with you, that all folks involved in Farm Bureau appreciate the service that the men and women that serve our state and our counties and our communities with public service. We appreciate that service. And if we could, let's just give all the candidates another round of applause.
I have enjoyed the candidates tonight and their responses to our various questions. I think they all did an excellent job. I would encourage each and every one of you to please get out and vote. One of the priorities of Farm Bureau is to make the voice of agriculture be heard whenever May 20th rolls around. So if you would do that for us, we would appreciate it very much. Thank you again for coming, and at this time the candidates are standing outside, and if any of you have any additional questions that you would like to ask them, I'm sure they would be happy to discuss things with you. Thank you again so much for coming, and we now stand adjourned.